house guests, welcome to the first BB19 spoiler of the season. Woo! Welcome to all of our new viewers, and welcome back to all of our old viewers. I love to see you guys again. So our house guest of the day, first one of the season, is Satchel1300. What's up, dude? And he has two quick questions. He wants to know, what do my tattoos mean? Well, I have two silhouettes, one from each of my favorite movies. I have Singing in the Rain on this side, and I have La La Land on this side. And he also wants to know, what's my favorite color? Pink. Okay. Thank you so much for your support, and if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And if you're already a patron and you want to ask me a question and not just have your name read, just shoot me an email at madrosed@gmail.com. That's the easiest way for me to find it when I have to go back and look. Alright, so where are we now? We have so much to talk about. We have so much to catch up on. It sucks when the feeds are down for the whole first week and we have to figure out what the hell's going on. So anyway, yesterday, as in Thursday, was day 9. And during that time, we find out that Paul is playing again. Cameron was evicted. Cody won the HOH. Josh is safe for the week because he got the golden apple during the HOH competition. Selfish. And Cody nominated Jillian and Megan for eviction. Great. We saw that on the show. Now let's talk about what happened when the feeds came on. Can you sit down, please, ma'am? Lucy is anxious. So let's talk about what happened when the feeds came on. Megan self-evicted. What? Yeah, I'm not kidding right now. That is for real. She self-evicted before the feeds even turned on for the first time this season. So I guess maybe like half an hour after the feeds came on, we can see in the background that her picture on the memory wall is grayed out. So eventually we hear the house guests talking about it. It sounds like she went in the diary room around 10 a.m. yesterday. Thursday, I just want to be clear there. And Big Brother told them around 1 p.m. that she left. She's gone. She's out. So what the frig happened? What led to this? Supposedly, well, okay, we already saw on the show that she was playing way too hard, way too fast. Like, you could see that from the first 2 episodes. But I think there was a real breaking point here. Supposedly, she told Alex that Jessica called her a racial slur. She called her panda. Okay, that's like a, I don't want to like get too into it here, but I feel like that's like a borderline thing, but whatever. It's not cool. But anyway, Alex then went to talk to the DR about it. She talked to the producers about it. She was like, what the hell? Like, did this really happen? I want to know. And they were like, we can't tell you that. We can't like play the video back for you. No. So I guess Alex and Jessica were talking about it, and Jessica's like, I didn't say that. So Megan was caught in a lie. There was this huge blowout argument. I think a lot of people were pretty mad at Megan for trying to say that Jessica was like using a racial slur. So it was just like not a good situation. Megan's getting caught up in this web of lies, and then she left. So I don't want to dwell on this for too long. It is really, really freaking disappointing when somebody quits the game like that, especially if you're somebody watching who would like love to be on the show. Minnie, are you okay? Bless you. A lot of issues today. So it's really disappointing. And she claimed to be a super fan. Like, I don't get it. Why would... It just seems ridiculous, but I'll leave it at that. So anyway, Megan was up on the block. So now Cody has to come up with a replacement nominee, and he put up Alex in her place. So Alex is up on the block with Jillian. So let's talk about some other things that we learned when the feeds came on. You know what? First shot of the feeds, we see Jessica in the HOH bed all snuggled up with Cody. They are officially showmancing. Really? Like, really though? So that's also disappointing. But it took the house guests about 15 minutes or so to realize that the live feeds were officially on. So they all start doing shout outs, talking to the cameras and being like, hey, I love you, blah, 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 and my cat and my dog. And then Josh freaking parked his ass in front of a camera, and he was like, hi, mommy. And he's like, America, I swear, I'm a good person. Like, I'm a human being. I made mistakes. I tried to correct them. So he keeps saying over and over again that he's a good person. Because we saw in the first 2 episodes, he's a freaking tool bag. So Paul is really starting to lose his patience with Josh. He had a major venting session in the HOH room with Cody, Jess, Raven, Mark, and Kevin. I just want to note that Kevin was sporting a cardigan last night with no shirt underneath. Good for you, Kevin. At 1.2 last night, Kevin had a freaking towel on his head with like an elastic band wrapped around it, and he looked like one of the wise men. It was amazing. So anyway, they were all up in the HOH room watching Josh talk to the cameras on the spy screen, and they were just like, what the frig is he doing? He's so annoying. It's ridiculous. And then they were complaining that he keeps calling Elena Elaine, even though they've all been living in the house for 9 days now. He can't get her name right. So they're just like, damn, we liked him better when he slept all day. Because apparently that's what he was doing before. But now that the feeds are on, he will not stop talking to the cameras, and they're sick of it. So then Christmas, Elena, or Elaine, and Dominique join in the HOH room. And on the way up, Dominique kind of called out Josh on the whole talking to the cameras thing. She's like, wow, this is the most I've heard you talk all week. Like, what's going on here? So, of course, Josh is getting defensive and upset. So, when Kevin hears about this, he goes downstairs to calm Josh down. So, he's telling him, like, what's going on down here? Like, what are you doing? Everybody's saying that you're doing all this crazy stuff. So, Josh is like, I just wanted to explain to my family why I've been crying all week. You know, he said that he shared with the house guests that his grandfather has cancer, which is really sad. But Josh is like, why does it bother them if I'm talking? Like, everybody else is being vulnerable and sharing things about their lives too. Why can't I do that? So he's getting super defensive about it. We'll come back to Josh. Alright, so then Jillian and Ramses were chatting in the have-not room, and before I get into their discussion, I want to say this is the first time that we've seen the have-not room this season. So the theme seems to be like the inside of a truck, like a truck bed, because the floor has this freaking diamond plated sheet metal on it, you know, like the sheet metal with the stuff sticking out, like the little design. They have that. They have like that kind of idea on the walls with like these spiky things sticking out. The freaking beds are, I guess, it's not really metal. It's like, it almost looks like concrete. I don't know. Some sort of metal or concrete bed or something with the spikes, like these pyramid spikes sticking up. Ow! But of course they're allowed to put like comforters and stuff on top of that, but still, like, that must hurt. That freaking sucks. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So the have-nots for this first week: Ramses, Josh, and Jillian. I'm wondering too if maybe Megan was the fourth have-not, because they usually start off with 4, I feel like, and now she's gone, so. Okay, but let's get back to Ramses and Jillian's conversation, because this is really interesting. He lets her know, whispering, that he got bit by a snake upstairs. What? And he's got some sort of curse now? What? So I'm assuming this has to do with the first Den of Temptation. I don't think that he got it. I feel like that, like, this is part of the punishment for the person that did accept the first temptation. But yeah, he's like, I know what the curse is, but I can't explain it to anyone right now. I'm not allowed to, but you'll all find out within time. So he warns Jillian, like, you should distance yourself from me a little bit. You don't have to, like, completely box me out and not talk to me, but don't hang out with me as much, because there is a chance that this thing could freaking backfire and you could get it. So, this sounds nasty. So he's saying, like, you should stay away a little bit, but, like, don't tell anybody. But Jillian does end up sharing this information with Whistlenut, aka Jason, and Alex separately. She talks to them individually. But she lets them know, like, yeah, Ramses told me that we should, like, stay away, and we'll find out more about it soon. Alright, they were also mentioning something about, like, blue eyes. I don't know if that has to do with the snake. Maybe the snake had blue eyes. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, Jillian and Josh were chatting in the Apple Lounge. That's what I'm going to call that lounge room now, the Apple Lounge. Sounds like the Apple Bar. So Jillian lets him know, they're all talking crap about you up in that HOH room. All the cool kids up there. And again, Josh is like, why can't I tell my story? He says, he's a human being. He F's up. he's got real emotions, he's trying to fix things, and he feels like this is really high school right now. It does tend to get high school every season. So then they're talking about how the house is split, and they're obviously not in that group that's up in the HOH room, because when Jillian went up there before, they just freaking stopped talking. They know that they are not with that crew. So basically, the house does seem to be split at this point. Not, you know, directly down the middle, but there is a solid split with, like, Alex, Jillian, Josh, Jason, and Ramsey's on one side, the cool kids on the other side, and then Kevin's kind of like not really, I would say Kevin leans more towards the cool side, but he definitely seems cool with everybody. So Josh is like, I'm not gonna walk out of here with my tongue between my legs. That's not what that phrase is. That sounds so wrong. Oh my god. Okay, we'll leave that there. So the feeds late last night were pretty tame. A bunch of the house guests stayed up really late last night, but it wasn't anything like crazy going on. But we did see that Mark and Elena have been very flirty. It's definitely like a showmance in the works, I think. Mark seems head over heels for Elena. She's got him wrapped around her finger. And also another thing to look out for, Alex can't effing stand Jess. It looks like Jess is everything that she said she wasn't gonna be in her preseason interviews. She was all like, I'm not catty, I'm a nice girl, blah blah blah. She's looking a little catty right now, I have to say. She is looking a little catty. So Alex was venting about that a lot with Jillian. Those two are really tight. And let's talk about what happened today. It's really hot in here, and my back is sticking to the chair. Okay, so today, this is big news, you guys. You know how whenever the feeds go down, we see the fish in the fish tank? Well, now, this season, we get to watch kittens when the feeds are down. And they're available for adoption. That is such a good idea. Props to whoever came up with that. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's wonderful, and I would love to see, like, kittens and puppies in the future, and, like, older cats and dogs, too, who need homes. Oh, I love that! Okay, so this morning, I believe Cody was eating slop for breakfast by choice. What is wrong with you? Oh my god, he really is insane. Okay, so they had the POV player draw. Usually they have the POV competition on Saturdays, but the schedule's always messed up in the first week or two, so they're having it today. Kevin is hosting, and the players, we've got Cody, Jillian, and Alex, and then the three extras are Jason, aka Whistlenut, Matt, and Raven. So then after that, some of the cool kids were up in the HOH room. Cody, Jess, Paul, and Matt. They're pretty pleased with the Power of Veto picks. They don't think that Alex or Jillian are going to be great in the competition, and Whistlenut is very close with those two girls. But, so, I mean, there is some concern there that he's going to use the power of veto on one of them if he wins, and Alex is the target, so they don't want the POV used. But Paul is saying, well, if he does win, we can probably convince him not to use it. I'll just tell him, like, it's really dangerous to go against the first HOH like that. It's going to put a target on your back, so don't do it. I think it would be really interesting to see what would happen if Jason won the POV. But anyway, oh, another thing to note. I know this is kind of scattered, but it's just like there's so much to catch up on. We saw in the first two episodes that Cody was not cool with Paul. He wants him out. But right now, it's kind of unclear if Cody would still go for Paul if the power veto was used. I don't know, because it seems like a lot of people in his group are really close with Paul. I don't know if he's going to go for it. So anyway, Cody, this was interesting. Cody was chatting with Alex and Jillian. He paid them a visit, and Jillian's having a rough morning. She's not getting all the vitamins and nutrients that she needs now that she's on slop. They're also not letting her get her special shakes that she's been drinking since her weight loss surgery. So she's like not in a good place right now. Her leg really hurts. She's bummed out. So, and she's on the block again. So Cody's asking them, after the longest silence ever, Alex was just like, what? Like, what? What do you want? So Cody's like, why have you guys separated yourselves? What's going on here? And they're just like, we didn't though. And Cody's like, I want you guys to know that nobody like dislikes you. The only people that were disliked are Megan and Josh. You know, like nobody dislikes you. And Alex is like, I don't know, the girls have made it very clear that they don't like me. But she doesn't care. She's just gonna be herself and do her thing. So Cody's like, yeah, well, I mean, you know, it could help if you try again with the girls. Like, I know you're pretty cool with the guys, but who knows? So then he's like, we'll see what happens with the veto. So he's trying to, you know, keep cool with them just in case one of them wins the veto. Alright, so then we got a bit of information here. Paul gave us a monologue in the Apple Lounge because he said those effing nerds love when he does that. Hey, if you got info, I want to hear it. I'll call myself an effing nerd. I don't care. So he has finally realized what an advantage it is being a vet in this game. Even though he's the only one playing this season, he's got some clear advantages here. He's not freaking out and all paranoid. Maybe he should be a little bit more paranoid. I don't know. He realizes this season that this game is a marathon. You can't just play the whole game in the first 2 weeks. But, you know, he's ahead of everybody else because they're all freaking out. This is their first time playing. So he feels like he's really a sense of comfort for these people because he's got like this authority when he speaks to them because he's done this before. And people are just bringing information to him. He doesn't even have to ask for it. So his strategy right now is called like moths to flames because, again, they're the moths and he's the flame. So he's just gonna build trust with people, give them advice when he comes to them, just let them come to him, and then after a while he's gonna start giving them some bad advice after they trust him more. And he's gonna, you know, push to cause more paranoia, let them blow up their own games. That sounds great, sure. But then we find out, officially, Paul received the first temptation. He's safe for 3 weeks, but he doesn't want to use it if he doesn't have to. He feels like he's in a good spot right now and he won't need to. We'll see what happens with that. But then he also gave us, well, that just confirms too that Ramses thing might have been a punishment or a consequence, whatever, because somebody did accept the temptation. But anyway, Paul feels like the guys this season are really bland. Like, they're definitely muscular, but not tons going on up there. But he realizes the girls are vicious. I think he's a little nervous about that. Okay, so then today the feeds cut to Cats around 1 p.m. for the Power Veto competition. They came back just before 3:30 p.m. Big Brother time. And we find out that Alex won the POV. Good for you, girl. You gotta give it to her for winning under pressure like that. But now the question is, who's gonna be the replacement nominee? Is Cody gonna try and backdoor Paul? Or is he gonna change his plan and go with someone else? Is he gonna be like Monty with the laser focus on Jason? For you BBOTT fans. It doesn't matter even if he does put up Paul because he's got the 3 weeks of safety now. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.